have started recording. So what we did, we go to resource manager, and from there I have opened a I have click on save as and save that object repository. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this plus, I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to verify that this logo is there. I'm going to click on this logo. I'm going to add this logo in my repository. Can you see the logo is added to my repository? Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead. So I clicked on that. Let me click on that plus, and then I clicked on that logo. The logo is added. Let's say I'm going to add this text box as well, right? Click on that search text box. Can you see where I did? I'm going to add that one as well in my repository. Can you see it is added? Okay. Now the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to verify that this Google logo is available and is I'm able to verify that. So I'm going to, can you see how I am dragging and dropping the object here? Okay, and then I'm going to drag and drop the other object as well. Can you see this one? Right? I'm going to bring it. Okay, now I'm going to click on this save button. Okay, now so let's say that this logo, right, this logo we can highlight. Let's do a highlight on this logo, highlight. Okay, and then I'm going to set in the search text box, I'm going to say this. Okay, now if I run this code, and before I run this code, I'll have to close all the browser. UFT, normally if you have multiple browser open, your code might not work. So I'll be closing the browser first to open another browser. Systemutil dot close process by name. And then what is the process I want to close here? I want to close iexplore.exe. Okay, we run it. It is closing the browser, and then it should open a new browser, and then it is complaining. Can you see the Google object was not found in the object repository? Can you see the complaint? The Google object was not found in the object repository, right? The Google, can you see browser line number 4? It is complaining about line number 4, right? Okay, so we are going to stop it. So what we have to do, so remember when you have recorded, make sure that this is a custom object repository or shared object repository. So you save it. When you record, your object goes to this local object repository. But at this point in the local object repository, do you have any object? No. No, because you didn't record. You do not have anything. We will understand in details what is custom object repository, what is local object repository. We'll learn it. But for now, we have added the object in the shared object repository, right? Now, but our code is not running. So what you have to do in this case, can you see action? You right click on action. Can you see associate repository with action? You click on that, and can you see my Google repository? You bring that repository here. Can you see now the repository is here? Okay, now you run your code one more time. Save and run your code one more time. Okay, it is highlighting, but it is highlighting in a, like, because of the settings it is highlighting, but it was able to, can you see, if you go back to your browser, right, it was able to type cheese here. Is that correct? It was able to type cheese here, and after typing cheese, what is the next thing you are going to do? You are going to click on that. Is that correct? Okay, so what we are going to do here, let's say that let me go back to my UFT and let me bring my custom object repository, and then let me, can you see edit mode? you click on this edit mode, and then you click on this plus, and you click on this button. Now you'll see browser page, and this is a web button, right? Can you see it has created another page here? I do not need a second page. It is, I am still in the same page. So what I will do, right? Can you focus like what I'm doing here? This object, can you see browser is still same? Can you see browser? And it put that Google search button under a different browser, under a different page. So I do not, I'm in my object repository. I'm going to keep my object repository clean, neat and clean. I'm not going to create unnecessary page. So what I'm going to do, can you see this Google search web button? I'm going to drag and drop it here under this page, and this unnecessary page, I'm going to right click and I'm going to delete. Okay, now can you see Google search, my button is there. Okay, my button is there. I'm going to go to my action. In the next line, I'm going to drag and drop it here. Okay, now I'm going to save, and then make sure that your custom object repository you have to save, otherwise the object will, if you close it, the object will be gone. So let me run it one more time. My highlight is not work. I mean, it's working, it is not highlighting in the right place. So if you go there in browser, can you see it has clicked on that Google search button? Okay, so you understand that, like, how to do coding without recording. You can add object manually to your object repository. You can drag it, you can drop it. That, up to this, does it make sense to you what we did? Okay, now that Google logo, right? Can you see this Google logo? Now this Google logo, you can only highlight if it is there, right? So what we are going to do here, right? We are going to put a if condition. If this logo exists, right? Exist, and then we will ask, okay, keep checking if that logo exists up to 3 seconds. If that logo exists, then only you highlight it. If it doesn't exist, then if you try to highlight it, your code will be failing. So if it exists, then let's say you give an output message, you print something in the output. Let's say print, right? Google logo displayed. Google logo displayed, and highlight it. And what if it is not available? Else, if the logo is not available, what do? You print the logo is not available. You put here Google logo didn't appear. Okay, Google logo didn't appear, and you put here let's say that message, right? So you run your code one more time, right? And see. Okay, now you will see, can you see there is an output window here? Make this output window bigger. Let me make it bigger. You will see now that Google logo displayed. Can you see the message, the Google logo displayed? Now the question here, okay, this, it is able to identify the objects because the objects are in the repository here. This Google logo is here. That's why it is able to identify that object. Is that correct, guys? Now let's say that, for example, let's say that if that logo, right? Can you see that when I'm identifying that object, it has this all of the attribute. Can you see HTML tag, image, alternative text, Google, right? All of this attribute it has captured, right? That's why it is able to identify that object. So when it is coming, let's say that when it is clicking, when you go to a particular uh, location, right, you go by address, right? So if you know door number, then you can go there and reach out to that particular place. Similarly, when I'm clicking on that logo, how the tool know that it will have to click on that particular logo? By looking at the attributes here. Can you see the attributes? By looking at these attributes, that's how um, the tool know where to click. So let's say that, let me do something. I'm going to change something here. Notice this. I'm going to remove all the attributes, okay? And I'm going to say smart identification. I'm going to make it false. I'm going to save it. Now now this other line I do not want them at this point. Let me comment it. Control M, control, let me comment. Okay, now I'm going to run this again. Let's take a look here. You run it. Notice here what I'm doing, guys. It is important. Okay, so what we got? Can you see my screen still, guys? Can you see my screen? Can you hear me, guys? Can you hear me? Nabad, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Oh, I was speaking on mute. Okay, okay. Was I speaking on mute for the whole time? Okay, okay. Now, can you see here that when I am trying to identify this object, what message I got in the output? Hmm? Google logo didn't appear. Why I have got this? Because in the, if you take a look in my, oh no, so in my object repository, right, in my object repository, you come here in the object repository, I have changed for this logo. Can you see all of the attribute, all of the attribute that it was taking help to identify that object? I have removed all of the attributes. Does it make sense to you? Now it is like it is walking on the road, it doesn't know where to. You got it? So that is why, and now it is saying that I didn't get Google logo. But still, can you see that it didn't fail your test case? It is saying that this is passed. Can you see the green sign here? That means it is passed. Your test is not failed. Does it make sense what I'm trying to explain here? It didn't get the object, but still your test is passed. So if you do not get the object, do you want your test to be passed or failed? If you like, let's say you are looking for an object. Let's say you are looking for an object. You didn't, you are not able to identify that object. So in this case, you want your test to be failed, right? So, but in this case, it is not failing. So, if you want to fail your test case, there is a specific command. Right? If you are coming in the else block, you want to put a command so that your test fails. Reporter dot report event. Can you see reporter dot report event? And then here you put make failed, and you put where it failed. Let's say uh, let's say test that's the object logo identification or verify logo verify. This is your, let's say, functionality, and let's say logo didn't appear, logo didn't appear. Okay, now you run your code. Okay, now can you see, is your test passed or failed now? Failed. So if you do not get a particular object, you fail your test case. Can you see run error, verify logo, and logo didn't appear? Can you see this message? That is how it appears. Okay, now the problem is I just intentionally made my code fail intentionally. Okay, i I remove attribute, and that's why my test is failing. So if you come here, this object, right, this object is not bad, but I made it bad. Do you agree with me? Now how will you make this object good again? What will you do? Right, this object, there are few attribute, I remove them. So what I'm going to do, can you see this icon here, update from application? You take this update from application, and you, oh, this is not the right one. Okay, so use this image, right? So update from application, I'm going to do this. Okay, now can you see image Google, right? Say okay, and can you see that your, now if you highlight this object, can you see it is there? Now your test will not fail. Okay, now up to this, do you have any question up to this? Okay, now step next step, what we are going to do, we are going to type cheese and press enter. Right, now let's say that I'm going to put a text checkpoint here. I want to make sure that this text is appearing in the box. Can you see this text? I want to make sure that this text is appearing here. There are multiple way you can verify text in the application. There are multiple way. Okay, there are multiple way you can verify text in the application. Multiple way. One of the way is um, adding a checkpoint. Right, I'm going to add a checkpoint to verify this particular text. So if I see this text is present, then I'm good. If I do not see this text, that means something went wrong. Okay, so how do you put a text checkpoint, right? So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my code, right, and I'm putting cheese. Let's keep this thing back. Okay, now after that I'm going to add a checkpoint, text checkpoint. How do you add text checkpoint? You add text.
আপনি আবার মিউটে চলে গেছেন।
Oh, am I mute again? Okay, good. Let me go there. So when I'm pressing M, right, it is putting me on mute. When I'm trying to comment something out, then it is putting. Can you hear me now? Okay, so to add a checkpoint, text checkpoint, can you see the record button? I'm going to click on record, and then record and run on any open browser. That is good. Okay, now I'm going to add, can you see this text checkpoint? Text checkpoint, right? I'm going to put that, and then what is the text I want to verify? I want to verify this particular text. Okay, now can you see what I want to verify? I want to verify cheese is a dairy product, and goats or sheep. Up to that, can you see the red text? I'm going to say, yeah, this is the text that I'm going to verify. Nipa, are you following me? Nipa, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can you see
yeah,
the
I found.
up to this, this is red. So that means I am configuring my, let's say if you want to verify only up to this, right? Up to this, and then you put configure, right? You configure, you come here, you put, let's say, um, cheese, and then let's say you're up to this, up to that first full stop, right? Say okay, and and it will be here, right? Can you see constant? Oh, it is taking the whole thing. So let me okay, check text, right? Check text, yeah, check text, text after text before, okay. So I want to configure this, let's say up to this. I'm just trying to make sure that configure, and in configure check text to this data product, and then check text, right? And then say okay. Now can you see, out of this whole text I'm only looking for cheese is a dairy product, if that is appearing, right? Can you see how you change this in text checkpoint? Okay, so I'm, if you want to make it bigger, right, if you want to choose mode, you select up to cows or sheep, right? You come here and then you say configure, and then say check text, right? Mm, check text, say okay. Now you come here. Oh no, it didn't work. So let me go there. Configure, and then you have to select, right? You have to select however much you want, cows or sheep. Is, and then you say check text and say okay. Now this whole thing is my checkpoint. Say okay. Okay. Now I'm done with my text checkpoint. Right? You will see. Can you see this Google? Is Google search, and then checkpoint is Google search. This is the name of the checkpoint. And if you go there in your local object repository, right, you will see that it will be like whenever you record, it will be recorded in your local object repository. And what is the name of my checkpoint? Cheese. I can rename my checkpoint. I can name it as, let's say, my text checkpoint. Checkpoint. It doesn't matter what you name, but um, my text checkpoint, uh, actually this is the object, right? This is the object. You will see that. Can you see the highlighting will not work, but we will show you how it is working. So this is the object where I am doing the checkpoint, and this will be my text checkpoint object. And the checkpoint itself is this. Okay, the checkpoint itself is this. I'm going to name it as my text check. Okay, and in my text checkpoint, can you see what I'm checking is here, right? Can you see this? I'm checking was there. Now so where is my whole checkpoint?
Uh,
It is, yeah, it is there, right? So you understand. So if I now close it, this local object repository, you do not have to save anything, it will automatically save. Now can you see my text checkpoint? Can you see that is my checkpoint? And where is the checkpoint? My text checkpoint object. You got it? On that object, what we are doing, check this checkpoint. And what I have in that checkpoint, I am checking, I'm checking if some text is present, right? Now, if you run your code again, I'll let you opportunity to ask me question. If you run your code again, okay, my code is passed, right? Now I have verified that in that particular page, this text is present. What text? This. Let's go to your local object repository, right?
Just say that the checkpoint was verified.
Checkpoint was verified. If you take a look here, can you see a Google search click and then can you see text checkpoint and can you see the text we have looked for? Now let's do a little bit modification here in that particular part. Let's say that you do it. You remove one, you remove a little bit. Let's say you remove that P. Okay. Actually configure, you have to go to configure and in configure, let's say that, okay, I'm looking for this, but can you see flavors? I'm going to remove that S. Okay, hold on. Click, okay. Um, okay, text after, that is fine. Here, I'll have to do that here. Let's say I'm going to removing one of the word, uh, hold on. I'll have to edit it in that way. So let's say that I'm going to remove one of the alphabet from here. Let's say I'm removing that E. Okay. Now, if you run your code, can you see the E is not there? Now you run your code one more time. Let's say my expectation in the application, cheese will be coming without E. Although it is not a good expectation, but to make to so that you understand, I have removed that E. Okay, now I'm there and you will see my code will be failing. It is trying to verify that checkpoint and finally it will throw an error message or it will be failing.
Um, Negative.
Yeah, this is negative testing. Yeah. So now let's take a look. Can you see it failed here in the checkpoint? And can you see it has taken a screenshot? Now, my expectation was, right? My expectation according to my checkpoint, right? That is what I got, right? That is what I got. It has taken the screenshot. But what was my expectation? If you go back, let's say if you come here on the checkpoint, right? If you come back on that checkpoint, let me go there in details. If you scroll down, can you see expected? Can you see what was expected? Cheese without E. Can you see this clearly? Expected was cheese without E. Actual, can you see what we got? Can you see how it is pointing out? Does it make sense here? This expected, that was the expectation. And how do you set this expectation? It is in your object repository. And that is what it was captured from the application. So that's how text checkpoint helps you identifying particular text in the application. Does it make sense, everyone? Do you understand what we were explaining here? Naved and Nahid bhai? Okay. So up to this, I'll be sending this recording. Can I stop recording and can you practice and make sure that your understanding is clear up to this?
So are we able to highlight the cheese on that page?
Okay, so now, so let's go there. So let's say that, let me add a couple of more object. Now I'm going to, from, okay, no, from there, I'm going to click on my plus and I'm going to add this. Okay, I'm going to add this, no, not this. Let me click on plus one more time. And this is the,
One, like after you click that link,
yeah, we'll go there, Nipa. Let's take. So here again, choose Wikipedia, right? Choose Google search. Now, this again, can you see this is a new page? Google search, this is a new page. I'm going to bring that. Um, Let me correct that checkpoint as well. I'll do that. But this is the link that I'm going to click. So I'm going to click on that link. For now, okay. And then after clicking the link, let's say that you click on this link, okay, and then what is the next thing that you want to do? Let's say you want to verify this particular object is present or not. Okay, so what I'm going to do here in my object repository, I'm going to add this particular object as well, this particular one. Okay, and I'm going to put it here, and then I'm going to bring it here. Okay, next line, and then I'm going to go there, first heading. Let me bring it. Okay, now let me first of all, in my local object repository, let me correct the checkpoint because I intentionally make it failed. So but there I'm going to put that e back. Okay.
object like the object.
Yeah, we'll be saving it. We'll be saving it. Thank you for reminding. So I'm going to put that e back here. Say okay. I'm going to close it. Let me go back to this object repository. I'm going to save it. Okay, and then the last thing that we want to do, we, instead of the first heading, we want to highlight it. It will not be highlighting in the right place, but you will see on that particular page there will be a highlight. So let me run it. Yes, and then it will click on that, and then can you see it is highlighting? Yeah. Nipa, you got it? Okay. So any further question, guys, up to this what we did today?
So if it is for use the iexplore.com, but if it is, for example, it's not what we use like different browser to check.
Yeah. Just for now, the purpose is wherever it works, we will keep learning by using that. And in the meantime, if you get a solution on anything, we'll get it. Okay. Any further question, guys? Do we have enough for today? So, Amit, can you still hear me? Can you explain this stuff, what we did in Selenium and UFT to Jaman so that he is up to date? Okay, please, if you can, that will be really helpful. So that's all for today, guys. Talk to you on again, Amit, with you. We'll be sitting from 9. And guys, can we start with you from 10:30 instead of 11? Jaman, sorry, Nahid Bhai, Nipa, and Nabet. Okay, from 10:30, and then Maksud Bhai will be starting the interview from 12 to 1. Okay, so that is the plan. From 9 to we'll continue and we'll bring a lot of stuff. Basically, do not get overwhelmed. In the beginning, in the morning, I'm doing some basic Selenium with these other two folks. Okay, so we'll start with you all from 10:30. Okay, all right, guys. Thank you. Talk to you. Bye.